Well, the next tune we're going to do here is the little spree, or the wee spree as we call it in Scotland. This is a very nice lament, and it really is played as a lament. It's a little bit, I would say it's a more advanced tune than the tunes we've covered up to this point. I think you just need a bit more experience for this tune. Throughout the ground here, you see there's the abbreviations for embellishments here. And what I would try and do on all those movements is they're all rhythms. And I would try and balance those rhythms throughout the tune. Yeah? I think that's the way I would approach the tune, the way I was taught. Yeah? I should mention that this is a People Society setting that we're dealing with here. And there's a number 1 over this C here in the piece of music. And that's really that can be played as a B instead of a C. But it should then be carried on throughout the variations. But I'm going to play what's in the society book here because that's what most people will learn from, I would think. Now the other thing that I'm going to talk about in the tune is variation 1. I was first taught this tune when I was just a boy. And my teacher at that time, who was an old teacher, was a student of a person that you may have heard of before, but Pipe Major Robert Meldrum, who was one of the older generation teachers again and players. And I was taught to play this variation in the reverse from what's written in the book here. So I'm going to demonstrate it both ways to you. And you actually have the choice of playing it either way. They're both ways are acceptable. So when we come down to this variation, I'll play it one way, then I'll play it the other way to you before progressing through the tune. We have a tornado variation here that's actually a G, D, and E grace note, which is termed an open tornado. And where that occurs in a tune, then it's generally followed by what's called the Fosgilty croonlaw. And Fosgilty is just a Gaelic word for open, so we play an open version of the croonlaw, only on the bottom hand. When we change to the top hand, then we play a conventional croonlaw movement. You'll notice when you see the music here or in your society book that there's a croonlaw mach. Now, we're not going to play a croonlaw mach. My teachers their teaching and their advice to me was that this was never played. It wasn't a regular occurrence in the old days by the players. So they would never play a croonlaw mach. And a croonlaw mach is, this type of thing here is really only an open version of the Fosgilty. So it's an alternative way of playing the Fosgilty croonlaw. It's not a mach. So I'll start off playing the ground, and then there's a doubling to the ground, which makes this a wee bit longer tune, where we take out the cadences and play regular grips or lumlaws. I just want to talk to you about this type of movement here, on paper rock. Now that's generally played, don't cut either of the notes. It's generally played where it's a rollover to the main note here. Don't cut the notes like that in that type of movement. See? And you're following that all the way through there. Now you notice that when I played the ground on the doubling of the variation, that when I played the embellishments, and I'm talking about those movements in here where you have the little symbols above them, etc., there's none of them jumped out of the music. Now, if they jump out and break the rhythmic flow of the piece of music, then there's something wrong with the way you're playing them. See? And what I'm talking about is if I was to play, so I abra, shin, I abra, so a abra, she, so you try and balance the rhythms in the piece to make it rhythmically balanced. I'll play the first variation the way it's written in the music here, play it down. Now, you probably noticed that when I played variation 1 there, I was playing it in a 4/4 phrase, which is what we spoke about on McIntosh's banner. So I could mark this music here, and I would be playing strong, medium, medium, strong, strong, medium, medium, strong. I'd be bringing out the 4/4 scansion, and I did that in there just now. Now I'm going to play this variation up, and again you'll probably hear the scansion a bit more when the variation is played up. Yeah. So that's the two ways that this variation can be portrayed. And you have the option to play either one. They're both equally acceptable. Now, in the Torla variation with the G, D, and E triplet, I spoke before a little bit about this, that you play onto the theme note. Don't pause on the third note in the triplet. Play your triplet through onto the actual theme note. Now, I'm not going to play the G, D, and E grace notes as quick as I can. That's not the object of the playing pibroch or playing triplets. What you're looking for really is a nice rhythmic ripple effect in the movement. So I'll play over a triplet for you. Now again, you'll notice that I portrayed the 4/4 scansion with a strong, medium, strong pulse. And I brought phrasing, light and dark shading, and rhythm into the variation. See, that's very important. Now, in the Fos Guilty Croonla, the first session that we did on embellishments, I spoke about the dream movement, playing to E all the time. I hope you're practicing that movement because it's really very important. It helps your croonlow movement and it gives you a nice dream movement. So always play to E. Not an E grace note down the low A, but E all the time. So in the Fos Guilty, that's basically what we're going to do from either a D, a C, or a B. I'm going to play now the croonlow variation for you. for people starting off, I just want to demonstrate that the important thing is that the duration of the grace notes in the movements are all correct and of equal duration and weight. So, but remembering that Crunlow Fosgilty and practice. When you play the movement up to tempo there, and you want to hear a rhythm in there, see? And it's very important to sound the intermediate note. Don't cut that too much. See? You don't want to cut that intermediate note out of the tune. See? So this is a very, very nice tune. And I've actually heard this tune being played and winning the gold medal at Bar some years ago. So it's a tune that can be played not just as a starting tune, it could be played as an open tune in open or grade 1 events. So it's a very nice tune, but it gives you an opportunity, as I say, to balance, try and practice balancing movements, the rhythm of the movements. And that's really important. And when you play, as you progress and play at a higher level, you're looking for just a different degree of perfection and the rhythmic quality of what you do with the embellishments. So on the tripling, again, it's not as quick as you can do it. The competition's not to see who has the quickest fingers, but the rhythm. Rhythm is the rarest quality in the music, and so that's what you're after, rhythm and expression. So pay attention to those things. So it's a very nice tune.